How can a game that looks this simple be this compelling? I play a Japanese board game called Go, and the pieces are simple, black and white stones, for Christ's sakes. You know, it doesn't have any of the characters that you see in other games. Even chess has little characters. It has like a bishop and a king and a queen and knights. But Go doesn't have any of that, and yet it's a much deeper game than chess. So that part of it didn't scare me. In fact, that part of it made the game more attractive to me.
Do you have a favorite version of Tetris you're particularly proud of?
This is like, which is my favorite children kind of question. The Tetris effect is, of course, an amazing one. It's probably, well, the most well-developed game of Tetris ever. There is a arcade game in Japan called Tetris Grandmaster. And when you watch the top players play on Tetris Grandmaster, you see real skill. There's no doubt about, in my mind, that the top level in Tetris Grandmaster is probably the top level in any Tetris game. I think the other game that's really interesting lately is Tetris 99 on Switch. The whole concept of getting 99 people to play a game at the same time. I think it's a ballsy move.
Tetris is obviously often called the perfect game. It's the name of your book. What do you think has been the secret to its endless, everlasting appeal over 4 years later?
Tetris is a constructive game. Most games out there are destructive. You're blowing something out or you're killing something, and there's nothing like that in Tetris. You're basically creating lines of blocks. That is why we have this. We're living in a world where we build things. And it's a very good feeling to build something. And I think that side of it also appeals to women. So Tetris was the first game that was actually played in large numbers by women. And women are now half the business as a result. So there's no looking back. They're here to stay.
What was Nintendo like as a company sort of with all those years ago in the relative early days?
I think in character, Nintendo's pretty much the same. I mean, Yamauchi set the tone, if you will, of how that company would be run, and I think it still runs that way. I admired him for being, some people would say ruthless, but I would say focused. He does the Nintendo business the way he plays Go. So when we play Go, which I used to do that with Emma, we never give something to the other player. It's, you fight for everything. And so that he respects.
You were recently played by Taron Egerton in your life story on screen. What was it like seeing that whole thing come to life now that you've had some distance from it? Because obviously you were in the eye of the storm previously. How do you feel about it looking back now?
Taron doesn't look anything like me, so I don't have a problem with people walking up to me in the street, "You're in that movie," because they won't recognize me. But it was a very interesting take on my life, and it was a very exciting time. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm flattered by the whole thing.
Were there any of the embellishments of the story that surprised you, like a certain car chase through Moscow?
There were a lot of embellishments. You know, even when I read the script, because I worked on the script originally, and there were all these things that they put in that never happened. And basically that's what was the impetus behind me writing the book, because I wanted to tell, you know, the actual story, what actually happened. So yeah, it was kind of scary, you know, because when I read the script, it's hard to tell what a movie's going to be like by reading the script. The movie is so much better than the script in terms of what's actually going on. Frankly, I was terrified. And so I was expecting, you know, the worst. And, you know, it's interesting because I cried several times in the movie about things that actually never happened. Yeah, it's very, very weird. Like my daughter singing, you know, I made the little stage for her and she sings. Oh my gosh.